I'm Simcha Tabaski, Cynthia originally. We're here in 40 years in Israel. We came 2 weeks after we were married, and we left university and we came to Israel. We were both 19, and we've been living here ever since then. We were actually looking for a place so that we could move the family outside of the city. We had 5 children. I didn't want to be in Jerusalem. We had come from Hadera, which was a place where I had no necessity to be on buses, to travel. I could raise my children. I'm a country person. And the yeshuvim were just developing at the time, and there were a lot of options for a lot of different yeshuvim in the area of Yerushalayim. We were looking for a national religious settlement that would give us the maximum of religious, that is not ultra-Orthodox, because no one here is ultra-Orthodox, but that it would be a good religious settlement. There was a yeshiva here that was very appealing to us. My husband is a Talmud teacher, and we were looking for a religious settlement, and we had friends who lived here already in Beit El, and they said there became an apartment available, a caravan for our family, and she said come, and we came for Shabbos, and we were actually trying to decide between 2 settlements, and my husband went to Shul Shabbos morning, and he said, trust me, this is where you want to live. And a week and a half later, we packed up our 6 children, and we came to live in Beit El. My parents, God bless them, live in Eretz Yisrael, and my 2 sisters and my brother, and 90% of the next generation. There's a couple that live in America, but most of them live here in Israel. We were looking for a place outside of Yerushalayim. We wanted a place that had a yeshiva, like I said, and there was absolutely no objection or no question in either of our minds that it was as natural to move to Beit El as it would have been to Tel Aviv if that had been the option, or any other place in the country. It's just like, for us, it has been and basically remains the same as any place else in the country. It's just a place to live, where the fact that, Avram Avinu was here, and Yitzchak was here, and Yitzchak I'm not sure was here, but Yaakov was here, and the whole Jewish history is on the mountaintops of this area. It played a part because it played a part in our educating our children to the importance of being in Israel, and maybe the added importance of being here, but not so much as a political ideology as a natural way that the Jewish people express themselves by living in the land that God gave them. And it worked out for us here because it was a good place. It was right for us. And I think if it hadn't been right for us, we wouldn't have stayed for ideological reasons. We're not ideological people per se. It's our home, and it's our community, and it's our land. Our children, of course, are much more ideologically, politically correct, you would want to say, than we are. And actually, most of them are living in settlements that are smaller than Beit El. No, we have 9 children, which I didn't mention, and 29 grandchildren. They all consider us slightly left of center. Our children are much more ideological than we are, most of them. But because that's more their education. We were brought up Americans, and Americans, I think, have to a great extent, at least our generation was less ideological. We were more, not necessarily in it for ourselves, but ideology didn't play a tremendous part in our decision, where it does in our children's decisions, are more committed in that sense. If I ask myself, am I worried about it? Can this happen again? Can a situation be created that the government of Israel will actually remove the people that live in the Binyamin settlements and in everything that's left, which basically includes part of Yerushalayim? How worried am I about it? I don't have a good answer because I first of all don't allow myself to think about it, because I'm really extraordinarily busy in my own life. Between my family and my own pursuits, I really don't have that much time to worry about it. And I think in my mind I'm more worried about the Iranian nuclear bomb threat than I am worried. So that when it comes down to the bottom line, people will know that there are really people that live here and not just houses that were put up against someone, because most of the areas were free areas. Most of the areas are not on Arab territory. Nothing was doing here before 67. It was empty. And the real answer is, we're living here, we're not bothering anybody. The real solution to the problem is that they have to simply accept the fact that we're living here and they're living here, and that, we really can live next door. I don't even know if the problem is the individual Arab as much as the Arab leadership that simply doesn't want a solution to the problem. Because if they wanted a solution to the problem, we'd see what's going on in Gaza. Because in Gaza, instead of rearming all the time, they would be building themselves hospitals and sewage systems and work opportunities, and that's not what they're doing. Do I personally have animosity against Arabs? I don't know any Arabs. I am a little uncomfortable sometimes when I see them get on the bus because of past experiences, the memory of what went on in Jerusalem during those few years of bus bombings doesn't go away so fast. I'll answer by giving my daughter as an example. My daughter is a nurse in Alin Hospital in Jerusalem. Most, if not most, then at least many of the patients in the hospital that she deals with are Arabs. Some of them from Gaza, some of them from things that we did, that we take the children and bring them in, whole families, to help them recuperate and rehabilitate as well as possible. She works with Arabs. She talks to Arabs. She has no animosity towards Arabs at all. She grew up in the settlement. She deals with them as human beings, as people that she has to deal with, that she has to be friendly with, that she has to talk to in their own language, in their own cultural setting. And she has never expressed to me that it's a difficulty for her. I don't think that any of my children have a problem with the individual Arab per se. That we're scared of them a little bit, I think is, legitimate, because they've done plenty to make us scared of them. But more than that, I don't see any hatred.